Hi everyone, and welcome back to Optimize FPL. We're just going to take a quick look at the last game week, my transfers, and the upcoming game week and what we're looking for. So yeah, let's get started. Starting from that, we got Sanchez, played Leicester. They won 2-1, but unfortunately he got a yellow card for time wasting and late on in the game. No bonus points because obviously they conceded. It was 2-1. Overall, decent performance from Brighton, I guess. They're winning a lot of games, but they're not keeping a lot of clean sheets. They've got two clean sheets out of 5 games, so it's decent, but it could be better. I'm hoping that he can keep up for a little bit longer. I'm thinking that when I do eventually wildcard, that Ramsdale will probably be coming in for him, just because I think if Ramsdale can hold down that spot, he'd be a much better keeper at 4.5 than Sanchez is, but we'll have to wait and see if he can hold down that spot. I think this game week will be really indicative if he can. Because Arsenal play Spurs, I think that's a pretty big game, and that kind of shows that he is definitely the number one. So let's see what he can do. We got Trent Arnold coming on for a solid 0 points, which is not something we'd expect from the Liverpool right back. They played Crystal Palace. I guess they thought that the team was going to be pretty weak, like Crystal Palace could be pretty weak, so they decided to rest a lot of key players like Trent. They also rested who else was it? There was Robertson out, and I think there was one more key player that was still out. I think it was Firmino still out. So, yeah, unfortunate, but it is what it is. Hopefully next week he can do better. Yeah, let's continue. We got Luke Shaw with another 2 points against West Ham. Decent performance from the fullback, I thought, but just not a lot going forward. Didn't really do much. It was pretty unfortunate to concede a goal, but it is what it is. Again, a lot of our back line conceded by 1 goal this week, which is really annoying because they could have easily kept a clean sheet, but it is what it is. Oh well. Hoping the Manchester United left back can do something against Aston Villa before I probably shove him out on my wild card next week, which is what is probably going to happen with all the injuries in my team and everything that's happening. So, yeah, it's probably going to be to a Chelsea defender, so let's hope Luke Shaw can get something against Aston Villa. Last up, and hopefully the last time I see this man, is Luke Ayling. Leeds' defense has been absolutely trash this entire year. They've conceded so many goals, so many shots in the box. They got no center backs. Ayling was playing center back this last game, and it's just, it's a bad time to be a Leeds player. He's got 50% chance of playing next week because he got an knee injury. I know their fixture run is absolutely freaking amazing, but I just don't know if I can hold any Leeds players just because the defensive stats are so poor, and their attackers seem to all be getting injured. Rafinha out, Rafinha possibly out, Bamford out, and Harrison most likely out, so it's a hard time for Leeds right now, but hopefully they can pick something up next game. We'll have to wait and see who even plays. Next up, our captain Salah. Pretty good game week from him. Got a goal, got an assist, got some bonus points. Unfortunately, a yellow card because he took his shirt off when he scored, but it is what it is. I mean, he was really excited to celebrate, so, can't take that away from the guy. But yeah, solid 12 points from our captain. That's what we look for. We look for big holes, so good job. That's basically all I got. Someone who did disappoint in the Liverpool jersey was Jotta. I'm not sure exactly how much longer I can survive with him on my team. He seemed to be a really good magnet for 3 points, but other than that, he has been pretty poor since I brought him in. He got those 2 holes against Norwich and Burnley, and he's been kind of missing a lot of big chances recently. I mean, Leeds, he could have easily gotten a lot of goals, and Crystal Palace is probably the same thing. I didn't really watch the match, but I'm sure he had a few chances that he probably could have put away, but it is what it is. It's all right. Hopefully he can pick something up next game and against Brentford. That'd be nice. Mason Greenwood on a 2 points. I didn't get to watch the Manchester United West Ham game, so I'm not exactly sure what happened in it. I know it's 2-1, but I'm not exactly sure how Greenwood played or if he was subbed at all. I mean, he played 72 minutes, so it was pretty decent. I got 2 points. Obviously didn't get to keep the clean sheet, so couldn't get 3 points, but it is what it is. I'm sure with Ronaldo on the team, he's going to probably be producing a lot less, so not a surprise that Greenwood's numbers have definitely been going down ever since he came in, because Greenwood was playing a striker, and now he has to play on the right wing, which is a completely different position. There's a lot less chances for goals, so it is what it is. Hopefully Greenwood can get something in the next game. We got the only goal scorer in the Leeds game for Leeds, Rafinha. What an interesting goal that was, huh? Rafinha went to cross it into Rodrigo, and Rodrigo decided to let it go through his legs and into the back of the net. I know Rodrigo doesn't get any assists for that, but he absolutely should be given something for that. I mean, that was fantastic. It's unfortunate that can't really be quantified in statistics, but it is a really cool thing that he did. But yeah, Rafinha getting the goal. One bonus point, which is pretty decent, I guess. It's probably because he came off early that he didn't get to 3 points. He came off in the 66th minute, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Yeah, Leeds played pretty decently in the attacking sense, but in the defensive sense, they were pretty weak. And Saint Maximin was running around the entire game, and he was doing really well. So I'm not exactly sure how I feel about. I know how I feel about Leeds actually. They're pretty crap right now, especially the defense. So that's something that we probably should be targeting in the future. Up next, our vice captain, Lukaku, played Spurs. Tottenham played really well the first half. They were doing fantastic. And then the second half was an absolute collapse. And I was talking to a couple of buddies about it mid-game. And at the halftime, I said, or before halftime happened, I said we have to get a goal before halftime because I know Tuchel's going to go into that dressing room and completely change things. And he came out with Conte, and the game completely changed. And yeah, Chelsea were immense. That's all we can really say about it. Yeah, Lukaku could have easily gotten 2 assists. I think Werner and Kovacic should have really put their chances away, but it is what it is. I mean, less goals against Tottenham the better for me, for my health, but not for my fantasy points, that's for sure. I would have probably preferred just to see an extra goal go in and Lukaku get some points. So it is what it is. Up next, we got Patrick Bamford. He got the assist in the amazing Rodrigo/Rafinha goal. Yeah, I guess we'll have to wait and see how he's doing. It looks like he might be having an ankle injury. He's definitely out for the next game and potentially more. It's an unknown return date, so it's really unfortunate. So just a lot of injuries in the team, all from Leeds basically, except for Brownhill, who's a 50% chance. But I mean, I'm not really worried about him. And yeah, just an overall very annoying time from having Leeds assets, going from one Leeds asset to now having three. It's been annoying to say the least, or two assets to three, sorry. But yeah, let's hope Bamford can get better. But we'll have to see if we even keep him in the team. And finally, Jimenez, the 2-point magnet man, getting us another 2 points against Brentford. No Wolves goals. They lost 2-0. Yeah, just pretty disappointing overall. They got good fixtures coming up. We'll have to see if we even keep him. We'll definitely keep him for Southampton next week, so we'll have to see. Hopefully he can do well in that game, but we'll have to see if we even keep him for the rest. I know the Wolves have fantastic fixtures, but I mean, I can't just hold a player just because they have fantastic fixtures. They got to start scoring some goals, and he's had 2 weeks of fantastic fixtures, and he hasn't done anything. So, yeah, right now he's a hold, but we'll have to wait and see. I mean, when the Wildcard comes out, I can't imagine him and his surviving, getting cut. Looking at our bench, we had Foster, Brownhill, and in this exact order, we had Brownhill, Amarte, and Livramento. Luckily, Amarte did not come on in the Leicester game, which is fantastic for us because Livramento kept a clean sheet against Man City. Absolutely fantastic from him, or from the Southampton defense in general. He's really looking like he's nailing down that spot. I'm loving him as a third bench option, I think, or as a second bench option, putting Amarte behind him because Livramento has a lot of attacking potential, and he's nailed down that Southampton defense, which it seems to be getting much better, which is fantastic to see because I really did think that they would probably go down this season if they didn't start picking up some results, and that was a big result against Man City. Okay, so the predicted score for this team was 62.9. Yeah, I don't think we got there quite. We got a game week score of 56, which is decent. I mean, it's definitely slightly above the average, but definitely below our predicted score, which means that the team definitely underperformed, which is not surprising considering all of our defense conceded except for Livramento, who came off the bench, which was very lucky because if Alexander Arnold played, I mean, I guess he wouldn't have the clean sheet anyways. But anyways, we'll move on from there. Yeah, so the overall score we have is 381, which is pretty decent, but unfortunately I did drop our overall rank to 96,506, which is okay in the first couple game weeks. I mean, it's 5 game weeks in, we're in the top 100K. It's decent. I was maybe getting a little bit excited about the idea of getting into the top 25K. I need to maybe slow my roll and start to think about a little bit more long term. If we can finish the season in the top 30K, that'd be fantastic instead of trying to get in the top 30K within the first 6 game weeks, because the first 6 game weeks don't win you anything. So, yeah. Let's move on to our transfers. So there are 2 transfers I'm considering this week. Both involve Leeds players, and they both revolve around the idea of wildcarding in game week 7. Unfortunately, it is a week that Liverpool do play Man City, so it is kind of unfortunate that I'm going to be wildcarding there because I'm probably not going to pick up any City players, and I probably will be dropping my Liverpool, well, just only one of them, Jotta. Trent and Salah, I think they're locked in for the season for me personally. They just play too well. I just can't see myself dropping either of them ever. So yeah. Anyways, let's look at the transfer. At least the first one is going to be Patrick Fanford because of his ankle injury, he does not seem to be coming back from at least anytime soon enough for me at least. So the easy swap for me, because it's the exact same price, would be Mikel Antonio. He plays Leeds. I mean, that Leeds defense is absolutely trash. So I wouldn't be surprised if we got a goal and a couple of goals. So that would be nice. Yeah, he's probably the person I'm looking at the most. I've looked back at the West Ham fixtures, and maybe it was just a little bit of bias, or maybe because they were playing Manchester United that week, but I've looked back at their fixtures, and I actually don't think they're that bad from an attacking point of view. They've got Everton, Spurs, Aston Villa, Leeds, and I think one other team that's like a top 10 team. Like, 'cause they're all really top 10 teams, but from from attacking point of view, I think that their defenses are all relatively pretty weak. So I think that he could definitely score some goals in those games, even though they are considered hard. Oh, it was Brentford was the other game that I was thinking of. Yeah, I mean, all those games from an attacking point of view should be pretty good for Antonio. And I think that the form he was in before he got his red card, I think he's somebody that I would really want to keep. So probably have to bring him back in and probably lose the 2 points I got on him. I mean, what a wasted transfer last week, bringing Bamford in thinking that I'm going to have him for long term just for him to get an ankle injury, and bringing Antonio that I thought I was going to be getting rid of for a while. Anyways, moving on to the next transfer is going to be Rafinha, and this revolves around my wild card next week is Sarr. Basically, my concept for next week is if I don't bring in Sarr this week, I want to bring him in next week when he plays a pretty weak team. I can't exactly remember which team Watford play. I think it might be Leeds or maybe even Norwich, something like that. It's a pretty weak team. It is Leeds. So bringing him in now before the price rise would help me save that 0.1 million, and I'd also be able to get him in for this week against Newcastle and next week against Leeds, and then probably drop him to Demarai Gray, depending on how well he's playing, or just keep Sarr for a long term if he plays really well, or if I have other fires to put out after a wild card, which I effing hope I don't. But yeah, so these are the two things I'm looking at. Yeah, let's look on to the confirmed team. It's a tentative confirmed team just because I'm not exactly sure which transfer I'm going to do, but the transfer I'm leaning more towards is going to be in the team for the confirmed team. Okay, so looking at the confirmed team, we've got Sanchez against Crystal Palace. I mean, Crystal Palace, pretty decent team, at least in some games. I mean, they played against Liverpool and got absolutely wrecked, but they played against Tottenham and they do really well. So, I mean, I'm not exactly sure what to think about that, but hopefully they can do worse in this game and not score any goals. That's what I'm hoping for. So hopefully Sanchez can keep that clean sheet and maybe go off with something pretty amazing. Next we got Trent Arnold against Bradford. I mean, he did miss the last game due to illness. I'm hoping that he doesn't miss another game, especially since it's Brentford. I think that Brentford have been pretty good defensively, but they've also been kind of weak up top. I mean, Tony and Mbabu were doing pretty well, but I think that the Liverpool backline can stop them. I think that Trent can probably get a lot of free space on that right side and hopefully get some crossovers in. So I think that he's a really good pick this week. So hopefully he can get some points. I'm really looking forward to that game. Up next we got Luke Shaw. Again, like I said before, a bit of a disappointment in the last couple of game weeks, but I'm hoping that he can play well. Aston Villa at home. I think that they can keep a clean sheet. I mean, Danny Ings is a really good striker and he can score off of very little, but I'm hoping that the Manchester United defense can finally start to click and hold some more clean sheets and get us some more points. We've got Southampton's Livramento against Wolves at home. It's a bit counterintuitive, I guess, for me to have Livramento, and I'm going to have Jimenez, obviously, later on in the video. But yeah, Livramento, I think Wolves away is a better fixture than Ayling's against West Ham. So that's why I put Ayling on the bench. I brought Livramento in. I'm not saying that Wolves aren't going to score. I think they probably will, but I think Ayling has less of a chance of getting attacking returns than Livramento, and I think both teams are going to score on them. So I'm thinking Livramento's the better pick for this week, and sometimes defense looked a lot better last week, so hopefully they can keep that up. Up next, we got the game week captain, Salah, against Brentford. Yeah, I'm just hoping that he can do well again. I mean, he played really well against Crystal Palace. He's been playing really well this entire season. I mean, he's the top point scorer in the entire game. So as long as he can keep that up and hopefully get some more hauls, I mean, he's the man. He's the king, Mo Salah. Yeah, let's hope he can keep it up. Up next is Jotta. I mean, this is really a make or break for him in my team. I mean, if he goes and scores a haul, I might have to reconsider taking him out, but I really think that this might be his last game for our team. Bamford away should be a good game for him. Hopefully, he can start putting away some of the shots he gets. I mean, yeah, it's very frustrating, but I'm hoping that he can do it. I think he can do it. So let's hope Jotta can get some points. Fingers crossed. Next we have Mason Greenwood against Aston Villa. I think that he's definitely got his place nailed down. I'm not exactly sure if he's going to start out the game week 7 wild card. I think he's probably going to be coming out too. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think he's got his place nailed down. I don't think Rashford is out for a while. Sancho's been playing abysmally. And Martial apparently played very poorly in the Carabao Cup when he played. Cavani's not up to scratch. I mean, who's even left then? They got Fernandes, Greenwood, Ronaldo, and I guess Pogba on the left. So I think Greenwood's definitely got his place nailed down, which is really good for a 7.5 million attacker from Manchester United. But I don't know. On the right wing, I don't think he's nearly as effective as he was as a striker. So I'm thinking that I'm probably going to get him out pretty quick. Up next, and our first flag player to be on the field is Rafinha. I'm thinking that he's probably, I don't know. He almost missed last game week apparently due to a hip injury. Came off it after 66 minutes, and now they're saying that he's got a 50% chance of even playing the game. I think that he will play. I just don't think he will play for very long. I think it'll be very similar. Play 60 minutes, come off, and take it easy. So I'm not expecting too much from him, considering he's only playing 60 minutes against a pretty decent West Ham. So let's hope he can get some points, but I'm not expecting too much from him, especially without Bamford in the team, which means there's going to be a lot less people for him to target in the box. So he's got Rodrigo, I guess, but I don't think he's nearly as clinical of a finisher as Bamford has been. Next, we got Romelu Lukaku against Manchester City at home. I mean, it's a very hard game for Chelsea overall. This was one of the things that I considered when I did bring in Lukaku instead of Ronaldo, is that he was going to have harder fixtures, but I thought that I could maybe avoid a Game 7 wild card if I brought him in and not Ronaldo. And all that has taught me is that was a mistake. I mean, I'm only down 4 points overall between the two, and I've saved $1 million. But I've just been sitting with that $1 million in the bank because I keep switching back from Bamford to Antonio every goddamn game week. So yeah, a bit annoying. Hopefully Lukaku gets something against Man City, but I'm not expecting too much from him. Expecting a solid 2 points. So it is what it is. Next, we got the vice captain Antonio against Leeds. Now this is the transfer that I'm leaning more towards than the Rafinha to Sarr, obviously, because Rafinha's in the team. But yeah, I think Antonio against Leeds is a much better fixture than Watford against Newcastle. I think that having Sarr for even one game week against Leeds is a really good fixture. I think that I'm going to start targeting Leeds and Norwich fixtures from now on. Because I think those two teams are definitely two of the weaker teams in defense this season. And I think Norwich and Leeds have proved that time and time again that they have a very weak defense. So yeah, I think this is a good fixture for Antonio, and I think that he can do well in this game. Last but not least, the 2-point magnet, the big man himself, Raul Jimenez. Against Southampton away, I could see him getting another 2 points here. This game week, I'm very pessimistic for my players, except for maybe the left side of the Liverpool trio. I don't know. Just watching Wolves, even in the Spurs game in the Carabao Cup, I just didn't think they looked that great. And again, they didn't play that amazing against whoever they played last week. I can't even remember. But they just don't seem to be scoring any goals. They just don't seem to be scoring any goals, and it's frustrating and annoying, and I'm hoping that Jimenez can hopefully finally break his duck next week. So yeah, let's hope he can do that. The bench, we got Foster, Ayling, Brownhill, and Marte in that order. I'm thinking that if one of the attacking players doesn't play, I don't love the idea of Brownhill against Leicester. I mean, it's just 2 points, it's boring. I think Ayling, if he does play, has a better chance of getting some attacking returns than he does of getting a clean sheet, which I think is potential for more points than Brownhill. So we'll have to wait and see, but I don't know. It is what it is. That's the bench order. The predicted score for this game week, pretty low. This is the lowest predicted score we've had all season, 56.9. I'm personally predicting it to be even lower than that. I'm predicting it for a 55-point game week. I was just looking at what could possibly happen in the game week, and I just don't see a lot of upside in most of the players playing. So that's kind of why I'm thinking of doing a wild card. Is the longer I look at the team, the less I like the players. Not all of them, obviously, but a good few of them that I think that can probably go because they played pretty poorly in the last few fixtures. And yeah, overall score's the same, overall rank's the same. So yeah, that is everything. Thank you for watching. I appreciate it. And if you have any questions, leave them in the comments. and please feel free to subscribe if you like the content. Looking forward to the game week. Cheers, everybody.